Vigilante Ways are here with a very simple question. When in the world did ethno-supremacist fetishism become a thing? I guess it's whenever a leftist does it. I've said it once before and I'll say it again. Feminism has been angry at the black man ever since Gloria Steinem got pumped and dumped by Jim Brown in the 60s. And apparently a similar thing is going on with Chelsea Handler and 50 Cent. Vigilante Waynes are here with another video. Please, if you like the video, share and subscribe if you are obliged. I appreciate it. Even if you do none of these things, I'm going to get into this really disturbing Chelsea Handler 50 Cent thing. Okay, there's a lot of things I want to get into, but let's just play the video.
You heard about my ex-boyfriend, right? 50 Cent and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah, what's going on between you? I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening? Because you said he was your favorite ex-boyfriend, and then he.
So before I even go, she said this is her favorite ex-boyfriend. She had to, first off, she brought it up. Make note of that. She brings this up. She has to bring this up. She calls him her favorite ex-boyfriend, apparently. And of course,
taxes, which by the way is in a plan of, says he doesn't want.
What does he do? Supporting Trump?
This is it.
He says he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which by the way is in a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person. So he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing. And he was a black person. So he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influenced. And I had to remind him that he was a black person. So he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook.
So the translation for that, in case you weren't listening to this, why not? This woman looks like someone's grandmother. I just said last week how she was getting butt ass to get people to slide in her DMs, and she proves me right a week later because she does all this trolling to her favorite boyfriend. She does it all, and it's a joke. But because he's a black man, he's supposed to vote how she tells him to. This leathery, and listen to this. This is what she's going to do after.
I haven't heard back from him yet, but I am willing.
Of course she hasn't heard back from him yet. I bet you it's been a long time since you heard back from him. I bet you this is, you know what this is? You know what this really is? I'm going to attack it, before I attack it from a really broad level, I'm going to attack it from this person, this witch, Chelsea Handler's level. This is someone who, remember, this is her favorite boyfriend, 50 Cent, who has sent drunk emails and drunk voicemails screaming, "Curtis, take me back," saying, apologizing for sucking off G-Unit, apologizing for sucking off the Dipset and any other rap group because she was just going through a phase back then in her 30s. Crying, figuring any way she can to try to get him to slide in her DMs because she regrets every decision she's made in her life. Every single one. But she's such a toxic human being that the only way she knows how to do that is to try to publicly shame and emasculate her favorite boyfriend out of the undoubtedly hundreds of boyfriends that she's had in the at least quadruple, if not quintuple body count she's likely put up in her long life of thottery. And I hate to just put it like that, but let's just be honest. Her only way to get this guy to get attention is to emasculate him and to demean him because he's a black man. He's supposed to vote this way. He's supposed to vote. There's only one way.
Seal the deal in more ways than one if he changes his mind.
She'll seal the deal in more ways than one. She after being emasculated, after trying to emasculate her, and looking drunk, by the way, after trying to emasculate this man, her favorite boyfriend, and this is 50's humor, and he got me for a little bit because you got to Google Angie Fernandez, but what? Another spin? Fuck Donald Trump. I never liked him. For all I know, he had me set up my friend Angel Fernandez killed, but that's history, LOL. And of course, Angel Fernandez is the guy in Scarface who got cut up by a chainsaw. So 50 was joking. He actually got me for a little bit. That's why you should Google. Don't go out like the leftists and the coyotes. But this is really disgusting. All jokes aside. Not only do we have the long-standing thing of the left telling black men what to do because there's this growing black male support. Ding! I voted for Trump because of this. Because I don't really like either side, quite frankly, but the left is so much more dangerous, so much worse. And because I want to troll you motherfuckers who have been trolling me, and I find each side equivalent at best, and at this point, well beyond, like the left is just so disgusting because of stuff like this, because of this, ethno-fetishes. And that's another angle I want to talk to. This is about anyone who's ever dated outside their race. If you ever come across somebody who has an ethno-fetish for your race, please leave that alone. I mean, that's a very disturbing thing. Look, clearly this person has that for her favorite boyfriend and has this weird, you're a black man, so I'll put you black men in your place. You know what I mean? I said in the intro, feminism has been angry at the black man ever since Gloria Steinem got pumped and dumped by Jim Brown. It's just anger, like the black man is supposed to bend his knee to whatever the white feminist thinks because you are lesser than, even though you're fetishized. And it's really a weird thing, and that's kind of also on display. And in general, just the emasculation, like, okay, you're supposed to do as I say and being publicly shamed for what he wants to do and the reasons he wants to do it, that he's bringing up taxes. And he's probably trolling about he said something like, I don't care if Trump likes black people, which I kind of brought up in one of my podcasts, and I didn't really put it the way I would have liked. I think I put it the best in my walk away video. I'll put that annotation. I already put some other annotations for other videos. But at the end of the day, I do think there is some, and I hate downgrading it, right? Because I feel like it gets downgraded, but there is an ethno-nationalist. There's ethno-nationalists on both sides. That's been obvious. That should be obvious. Because all the segregationists of Antifa, where they want blacks in this place and whites in this place, and there's ethno-nationalism on both sides, quite frankly. But there is an element to that to the right. It's very much overpronounced. I'll say that. And I think the Trump base is a lot nicer than I thought it was. I think a lot of people who have ever come across Trump supporters, but there are also ethno-nationalist Trump supporters. Like, they're clearly ethno-nationalist leftists. That doesn't make it right. And I do think you can make the argument that, like I said in my walkaway video, there are nationalists, of which there are black nationalists, white nationalists, meaning people who are for the country that they live in this case, obviously America. I love my country type people, which I love this country. I'm glad I was born here as opposed to anywhere else. There's definitely issues with this country. That's why I do this podcast and these videos, to try to help with that. If I can make any little impact with that, I want to de-escalate things if I can, but I'm still a person with my own emotions. I digress. There are nationalists of all kinds who are for the country that is their birth, or the country that they are living in this case, America. And then there are ethno-nationalists who are black ethno-nationalists, there are white ethno-nationalists, and they're, supremacists. And I probably have to censor that word for you too. But yes, there is a Venn diagram overlap. And I think, yes, I don't think Trump necessarily the whole dog was such a stupid thing. I don't think Trump cared about that overlap, but I don't think it's his job to care, because clearly the left doesn't care. Listen, I'm not saying you couldn't put some brain memory thing to Trump's brain and say whether or not he's racist. I could care less. What I do care about is the fact that he's been able to create an economy that did something that hadn't been done since socialism had been given to black people, which is what the welfare state is. A lot of things, when people bring up the concept of systematic racism, they never really bring up really what it is. They never want to bring up the welfare state. They never really bring up the Iran Contra affair that led to the government sanctioning of cocaine being brought into the streets and major level dealers being allowed, getting taps and tips about what was going on to make sure they dodge things. And Freeway Rick Ross can tell you that. And the impact of that and the welfare state and the drug laws and the crime bill, all these things, after you have hundreds and hundreds of years of Jim Crow and slavery, right after that you have these things happen, yes, that's going to have an impact. And in that time, black unemployment and black economic empowerment had never been better since Trump, until Trump. That's just statistically true and can even be, vetted out by my own personal life. So, when given these options, I feel more than comfortable voting for Trump, especially when you consider this is the treatment someone is going to get from the left. Do as I say, nigga. That's what she wanted to say, but she wanted to say, do as I say, nigga, I love you, Curtis, please call me. That's what she wanted to say is in her drunken way. But she didn't know how to say it. This is crazy. And I tell you, I'm talking about the leftist nationalist angle. Let's actually get to the funny part. The fact that Newsweek didn't really know. Shout out to Christine Zah. She probably knows by now. But she just covered the whole F Donald Trump. He said he's never liked Trump after Chelsea Handler publicly scolded him because, of course, feminism makes black man look bad. Makes man look bad because that's all it is about attacking masculinity. 50 Cent was kind of this uber masculine rapper. You know what I mean? But of course, he proves himself to be a master troll and says he's not an SIMP. He is still a PIMP. And apparently he has this woman fiending for the magic stick. That's really, really a crazy thing. I'm going through to see if there's anything really. Okay, they're unclear whether it's a mock. Handler's remarks again. Angel Fernandez is this guy. It is a mock. It is a joke. But they're trying to join in and shaming the black man for having a voting opinion that he's not supposed to have, and it's really disturbing. And I saw this in the Twitter thread. This is kind of a thing that is representative of that whole energy. This black woman's trying to say, I'm not up, and then the left is saying, yes, you are. You just aren't aware. You need me to white-explain your oppression for you. You are feeble and lower than me and need me to be your savior. You cannot get by without me. They don't realize that energy is why there's going to be more black people to vote for Trump. Like I said, I was comfortable not voting at all. There's a lot not to like about Trump, even if you're on the right, quite frankly. Those are never the reasons that leftists bring up, though, of course. They bring up straw men. But this energy is how I'm like, you know what, fuck it. I wasn't going to vote, but it took nothing. There's a complete ease of use of going in person, tapping on the screen, and trolling you motherfuckers like this. Motherfuckers like Chelsea Handler. And to attack this from, before I get into Don Lemon, I want to also attack this from just a man point of view. You cannot let women like this. There's a reason that he's not dating her. You cannot let anyone like that. Really a human. I can't just say a man. You don't let anyone just disparage you like that. You know what I mean? She truly cares about you. See how kind of drunk she feels in this interview and looks at the interview? But that's somebody who she truly thinks is her favorite boyfriend, and she emasculated him on national TV. Don't let people who will have no problem being disparaging towards you anywhere in your life. That can't happen, man. That's kind of disgusting. I see why 50 dodged a bullet. He clearly dodged a bullet with that leather face. I mean, she's just a disgusting person, clearly, to think that as a black man, she set him straight, she sets him right to vote how he's supposed to This woman doesn't even have enough dignity. She will get naked just because Joe Biden told her to. Someone who has links to he who shall not be named because he did not off himself. You know what I mean? That's what she does have links to do. I wonder how she got on. I want to talk about Don Lemon. He's another guy shaming black men for voting how they want to vote.
I think what these black men think is that, well, if I just get the money and I just get the capital, therefore I will be equal and I will be treated equally. They're in for a rude awakening because it doesn't work that way. That's not exactly how it works. And women know that, especially black women, they know that. So I think these men, honestly, are being bamboozled. They're being played by the Trump folks. But yeah, I actually do think it's going to motivate some black.
That's what Don Lemon thinks. And this is what's weird about this. So do you not want black men to be economically empowered? See, he's one of these seat at the table type people. I think one of the biggest issues is the good job mentality instead of having more blacks with business mindset. His mindset is to be employed. And I'm someone who's actually trying to get out of the corporate world. I want to be able to work for myself. I don't like being a employee. I want to be self-employed and maybe one day an employer. And this person doesn't have that mindset. I mean, think about how big of Don Lemon reach. Think about how big Don Lemon's reach is. Even if he wanted to be a hardcore leftist, he can go out on his own and make tons of money. But his mentality is, I want a seat at the table. I want someone to like me. I want other people to bend the knee to me for my will and my need. I don't know. I don't really get it. He doesn't want black people to be economically empowered, or he thinks that won't be enough. Then what is enough? What do you want? What do you want? Because I don't really care what anyone thinks of me. Like I said before, I don't know if Donald Trump is racist. I think he's overblown. I do think there is an element to his basis, but I don't think it's that big. And I think the fact is, a lot of things on the left have racism baked into it. Critical race theory is inherently racist. And I don't really care what anyone thinks of me. I'm just trying to be a businessman. I'm not trying to be discriminatory towards anyone. I judge people for how they treat me and how they are as people. I don't have to worry about some evil, strawman, white, racist person that you're worried about. I don't get it, Mr. Lemon. You're a very successful individual. That should be enough for you. If that's not enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You know what? I do know what I can tell you. Be a little bit more like Whitlock. This is a guy that worked at ESPN, worked at Fox Sports, decided to buy into Outkick, which a lot of people who are new fans don't even realize that Outkick, the coverage, started almost a decade ago and is now a new brand under Whitlock and Clay Travis, who are bought into it, came up with their own brand, their own platform. He's doing interviews with the president. Okay, you're on the left side. You can come up with your own platform, Mr. Lemon, and do interviews with Biden or whoever else you feel on the left and have a successful platform. You want a seat at the table. You want these people to have a positive perception of you. You don't understand. You're not trying to get a seat at the table. You're trying to build your own table. That's how trade works. That's how economies work. You have groups who build up something they can trade their resources for and barter for other groups. That's how the basis of economy started. And we have paper money to act as an account of exchanging those resources. So you can build your own business, and then it doesn't matter what anyone's perception of you is. I'm going to close with Malcolm X, a few different videos from Malcolm X, and there's going to be a slight edit because I added this part to the video after doing it. But I want to just show the difference in mentality of someone who wants someone else's perception to change, someone who is looking to change some random straw man's mind. This is a straw man because remember how many corporations that come out with all this leftist support supposedly for black people, right? But he still wants some. He has economic empowerment of his own accord. He, like a Hey Don Lemon, he's a successful talk show host and successful anchor, but that's not enough for him. I don't get it. These people in these boardrooms. You know what? The corporate world is not for anyone. Let alone the black man, let alone the white man, let alone anyone. The corporate world is not for anyone. It has its purpose. But if you're able to expand upon your resources, you don't have to worry about anyone else. Let's have Malcolm X talk to us about that mentality and the opposite mentality, and just the white liberal in general in the last few videos and clips that I'll show.
If white immigrants can come to this country 50 years ago with nickels and dimes and no education, and come here and pool their little nickels and dimes and no education, and set up little stores, develop these stores into larger stores, develop this into an industry which creates job opportunities for whites. Since Lincoln was supposed to have freed the black man 100 years ago, and today the black man, according to the government economist, has spending power of $20 billion.
That's in the 60s. Spending power of $20 billion. In the 60s. In the 60s. Right now, if you pool just black people on our own, we are the 9th biggest GDP on earth. If black Americans were our own country, our economic resources make us the 9th largest GDP on earth. We need to change our mentality. Mr. Lemon, I'm sorry that you want the perception of other people, and I'm going to continue with this video because he gets into that. But you want the perception of other people to change, but our internal perception has to change. And it is changing, quite frankly.
Power of $20 billion per year. We feel that with the black man spending $20 billion a year, not setting up any businesses, not creating any industry, not creating any job opportunities for his own kind, he's not in a moral position to point the finger today at the white man and tell the white man that he's discriminating against him for not giving him a job in factories that he himself set up. If the black man has $20 billion, and these so-called Negro leaders are such geniuses that they can integrate white restaurants and integrate white factories and force themselves into that which the white man has set up, they should use this same ingenuity to show the black people how to pool our wealth and set up something of our own. And then we won't have to force our way into his anymore. One more thing.
Oof. I could go on this video, but I got to end mine, and I got to cut it back with the original part. Malcolm X would be considered a coon now for saying what he just said, but it's absolutely 100% true. We have to do for ourselves, and there's nothing wrong with doing for yourself. It's okay to be white. It's okay to be black. It's okay to be what you are. It's okay to do right for your family and your resources. Just so it's okay for 50 Cent, Miss Tatiana, Miss used up Tatiana, someone who's the grandmother's age, who should be baking cookies, instead chasing dudes that don't want her. It's okay for him to say, I don't want to give all my taxes to the government, especially when he's a black business owner who creates opportunities for other people. He has a successful TV show. Even well outside of his reign in the music industry, he is still a business owner who creates opportunities for other people. So it is behooving on us to want business owners like 50 Cent to pay less taxes so they can employ more people. That's what you don't understand, Miss Handler. You just want to toss out your dried up cooch, hoping it'll win something for your team. It makes no sense. You don't understand the actual nuts and bolts and the reality of why people make the economic and political decisions they have to make. So I'm going to cut this up with the rest of the video, and you'll see the end of the video.
There are many whites who are trying to solve the problem, but you never see them going under the label of liberals. That white person that you see calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most...
No, he said the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. The most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. Not the most dangerous thing to black people. Let's go again.
Calling himself a liberal is the most dangerous thing in the entire Western Hemisphere. He's the most deceitful. He's like a fox. And a fox is always more dangerous in the forest than the wolf. You can see the wolf coming. You know what he's up to. But the fox will fool you. He comes at you with his mouth shaped in such a way that even though you see his teeth, you think he's smiling and you take him for a friend.
In this crooked game of power politics here in America, the Negro, namely the race problem, integration, civil rights issue, are all nothing but tools used by the whites who call themselves liberals against another group of whites who call themselves conservatives.
Okay. And I think that just sums it up quickly. There are people, I should have had Booker T. Washington's quote up there. There are people who want this racial division thing to keep going. There are people who use it as a brand, and there are people who say, you as a black man, you're supposed to do what we say because we're the liberals. We know what's best for you. We're always looking out for you. This is why I voted for Trump. And this is like, I don't like Donald Trump, but I'm not going to regret it because I didn't really vote for him. I voted against you. I voted against people who think they can tell people what to do. And people who don't have plans, who their plan is to defund the police and take away guns. We'll see how that works. I don't, and do it in my name. These people's plan is to let Clary Claver type Caucasian wealthy leftists burn down black businesses, and it being in my name apparently for racial justice, and then want to tell somebody, even though the plight of black men, the knee on someone's neck, which he was on fentanyl, and that's a whole nother can of worms, but that's supposed to be a thing that spurred this, right? Yet if a black man should say, hey, I'm going to vote the other way, oh, you're not allowed to. I'm going to have to toss this dried, wrinkled up, nobody wants. Please slide my DMs 50. Please slide my DMs Curtis. I love you, Cooch. I'm going to have to toss this at you, you stupid black person, to let you know how you're supposed to vote. It's disgusting. I don't like it. And this is why there is a undercurrent of black male in particular, but black support for Trump. And it's not really support for Trump. It's anti-leftist. It's like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to vote the opposite way because I'm tired of you and you haven't done anything for me anyway. So that's enough ranting for today. I hope I got all my points. I didn't really talked about a little bit how the feminism emasculating thing, and then the ethno-fetishism. If you are ever with someone who is with you because of your race, leave them alone. You do not want that in your life. That's a really disturbing thing, as you can see with Chelsea Handler. It's how she treats her favorite boyfriend. So I digress. If you like the video, please like the video. If you're so obliged to share and subscribe, please do so. Please let me know in the comments below how you feel about me. And even if you do none of these things, thank you for watching and thank you for your time. God bless.